Priests and nuns were stopped and searched like everybody else, and if a written order had been found on their person, it certainly would have been the impetus for a raid on the Vatican and all church institutions. You have to remember that the only thing separating Vatican City from Rome is still a thin white line marking the border. Everyone the church was sheltering at that point would have been in danger. Martin Gilbert puts Pius's case best when he said, "You cannot argue that the Pope was the supreme head of the Catholic Church and said nothing, and then in the next breath speak of all those wonderful acts of Catholic charity and rescue, especially by senior men of the Church who pledged fidelity to the Pontiff and claimed that the Pope had nothing to do with their rescue efforts." He must have known. In late September 1943, Kapler summoned the two lay leaders of Rome's Jewish community to him and demanded 50 kilograms of gold within 2 days. The reasons for him doing this remain unclear, but he warned that if the Jewish community did not comply, he would select 200 Roman Jews by lot and deport them. A delegation of Jews went to see the Pope. Pius offered to supply whatever gold the community could not come up with, but in the end his help was not needed. On October 11th, Kapler received fresh orders from Berlin demanding the immediate and complete elimination of Jewry in Italy. On Saturday, the Sabbath day, October 16th, the raid on the ghetto was carried out. The German troops took 1,259 people from their homes that day and transported them to the military college compound right outside of the old walls of the Vatican. The oldest Jew captured was 90 years old. The trauma of events caused a woman to go into labor, so the count of captured people rose to 1,260 the next day. The Pope learned of the raid on the ghetto as it was happening that morning by Princess Enza Pignatelli. The princess was taken immediately to the Pontiff, who was shocked. He exclaimed that they promised not to touch the Jews in Rome, thinking of the promise of safety Kapler had given in exchange for the 50 kilograms of gold. Pius immediately placed a call to his Cardinal Secretary of State and asked him to summon the German ambassador, Weizsäcker, at once. Maglione made clear the Pope's extreme displeasure at what was going on, but stopped short at definitively stating the Vatican would make a public statement regarding the roundup when the ambassador intimated that the orders for the raid on the ghetto came directly from Hitler. Cardinal Maglione and Ambassador Weizsäcker were both worried that a protest might precipitate direct and violent action against the Holy See and its extraterritorial properties, which were sheltering Jews in Rome. But Maglione stated that the Pope would have no choice but to speak openly against the roundup of the Roman Jews if the operation was not stopped at once. Weizsäcker was alarmed by this declaration and stated that he would take care of the matter. Weizsäcker had a private meeting later on with Monsignor Montini, the future Pope Paul VI, who's pictured, who was Undersecretary of State at the time, and warned him against a papal protest.